The moment Emma Collins opened her phone in the softly lit bridal suite, she knew something was wrong. Her heart seized, not with excitement but with dread. A single notification glowed against the ivory satin of her dressing gown, a direct message from an unknown account showing a screenshot of her fiancé, Jason Rivera, texting another woman under their custom wedding hashtag #EmmaNJR 2025. "I can't stop thinking about you," the message read, timestamped 2:03 a.m. Below that, Jason's reply. "She doesn't have to know. This is just us." Emma's fingers trembled. Bridesmaids bustled around her, pinning the final blooms into her bouquet, ensuring the ribbon on her veil sat at the perfect angle. The florist hovered, asking if she wanted extra pearls on the centerpiece. The groomsmen were already waiting across the street in a trendy Brooklyn loft, clueless that their best friend's world was about to shatter. Emma swallowed hard, trying to steady her breathing. The room spun. Her best friend and maid of honor, Mia Thompson, looked up from fluffing the bottom of the dress. You're quiet. Is everything okay?" Mia's voice was calm but tinged with worry that she'd misjudged the perfect morning. Emma forced a smile, though her gut twisted. "I'm fine," she whispered. But she wasn't fine. A second DM buzzed in. Another screenshot, this time, Michaela Stone, Jason's college ex, smiling in a dimly lit bar, wine in hand, her dark hair cascading over one shoulder. The caption beneath her photo read, "Counting the days, love." Mia caught sight of Emma's phone and her face paled. She stepped closer. "Emma?" Before Emma could answer, there was a soft rap at the door. It swung open to reveal Jason, dressed in an ivory blazer and tailored black pants, cufflinks catching the light, his smile radiant, eyes bright with excitement. He strode forward, wrapping Emma in a gentle embrace. "Babe," he whispered against her hair, "are you ready?" Emma's mind screamed warnings, but her lips curved into a shaky grin. Almost. She tucked her phone into her bouquet's ribbon. She would deal with this later. Today was supposed to be perfect. Everything depended on it. The ceremony was arranged for 11 a.m. in a nearby courtyard. Lush greenery framed rented chairs draped in blush linens. A trio of violins rehearsed Canon in D under a translucent tent. Relatives gathered along the edges, Emma's mother, Sharon, dabbing at her eyes. Jason's parents, beaming with pride. Emma's father, Thomas, fidgeted with his boutonniere, offering Emma a strained nod as she stepped onto the cobblestones in a vintage-inspired lace gown. As the string ensemble began, Emma walked down the aisle on her father's arm. Jason stood at the altar, his back straight, but his foot tapped nervously. Emma's heart pounded as she glimpsed his face, so handsome, so adoring. She tried to banish the images from her phone. This was her day. But those screenshots burned in the back of her mind. Just as Emma reached the final step, Jason's best man, Derek, whispered something into Jason's ear. Jason's confident posture flickered, and he glanced behind him. Emma's chest tightened. She knew Derek was the only person other than Mia who knew about Jason's secret late-night texts. She'd told Mia to trust her. Mia promised to gather evidence but insisted they wait until after Emma confronted Jason privately. Yet here Derek was, standing on the groom's side as if he'd stumbled upon some critical news right before the ceremony. Emma's grandmother, Evelyn, who rarely spoke more than a sentence at a time, leaned forward from the third row, squinting down the aisle. Jason's lips looked pale. She muttered to Emma's aunt. He shouldn't marry a man who hides his truth. Emma's Aunt Lana placed a calming hand on Evelyn's shoulder. "Nana, please. It's too late for second thoughts." But Evelyn's gaze never wavered from Jason's face. When Emma reached the altar, she found her breath caught in her throat. Jason gripped her hands warmly. The officiant began, but just as the first vows were whispered, Mia, her face ashen, stood abruptly from the front row. She had her phone in her hand, trembling. Before Emma or Jason could register what was happening, Mia strode down the aisle. "Wait!" Mia's voice rang out, as if amplified by the sudden silence of all the guests. The violinist stopped mid-note, and the only sound was Mia's heels clacking against the cobblestones. Jason's brow furrowed, embarrassment flickering in his eyes. Emma's mother gasped, Sharon's hands flew to her mouth. Guests murmured, craning their necks to see what had gone wrong. The officiant lowered his clipboard. Mia reached the altar, pointing a trembling finger at Jason. "Tell her," she whispered, but it was loud enough for everyone to hear. Jason recoiled as if struck. "Tell her what, Mia?" Emma demanded, voice shaking but fierce. Mia unlocked her phone and turned the screen toward Jason, and toward every guest. A screenshot of a DM from Michaela Stone 1998, "Seeing you in that tux makes me melt. Can we meet tonight? Hashtag EmmaNJR 2025. Below that, Jason's response, "Depends. Can you keep it a secret? I can sneak away. Just you and me." A collective gasp rippled through the audience. Flowers tilted under the weight of shocked heads. Jason's face drained of color. All eyes locked onto Emma, her breath caught. Sharon stumbled backward, clutching the arm of a bridesmaid. Thomas stood frozen, and for a moment, the world blurred, confetti poised to be thrown, guests reaching for phones to record, the officiant's microphone crackling. Jason's mouth opened and closed as if he were a fish. Emma felt her knees weaken. Tears welled, but her voice stayed steady. "Is this true?" Jason's head swiveled toward Mia, begging for a lifeline. Mia's face twisted with guilt. She'd intended to let Emma confront Jason privately, but when she saw the timestamp, 2:03 a.m. this morning, she couldn't stay silent. Jason's eyes flicked back to Emma. "It's not what it looks like," he stammered. "I was just, Michaela, Jason, what are you doing? On our wedding day?" Emma's voice didn't break entirely, but her composure was paper-thin. The officiant took a half-step back, uncertainty etched on his face. Jason reached into his pocket. Emma's breath hitched. Was he boxing for ring phone to delete evidence? But instead, he pulled out his phone, holding it with a shaking hand. "Emma, look at this." He swiped through a long list of texts, declarations of love, plans to rendezvous in a boutique hotel that evening. Each message more blatant than the last. One photo with timestamp read, "Michaela, waiting in Chicago, remembering when we," the next response from Jason, "I'll be there soon. Promise." Emma's world narrowed to the two phones in front of her, her bouquet pressed to her chest as if to cushion the impact. The bridesmaids huddled, trying to form a barrier between Emma and the stares of all the guests. The tension in the air was suffocating. Jason lifted his eyes, pleading. "Emma, baby, I never wanted to hurt you." But words tasted like ash. Emma felt the weight of every phone in the audience's hands, as if each captured this moment, each poised to send it viral. She dropped her bouquet onto the cobblestone. "I want everyone to hear the truth," she said, her voice steady despite the tremor in her limbs. "Jason, tell them why you've been texting Michaela." Jason's face crumpled. He took a deep breath, raising his hands as if in surrender. 2 weeks ago, I found out Michaela was going through a tough divorce. She called me at 1 a.m., she said she needed someone to talk to. We were best friends in college. I thought I could help her." Murmurs flared from the crowd. The officiant leaned in, snapping his pen to signal the ceremony was officially derailed. Emma folded her arms, voice icy. "Help her how? By whispering sweet nothings at 2 in the morning? By planning secret meetups using our wedding hashtag?" Jason's jaw trembled. "I didn't plan to get involved. I just wanted to be there for her as a friend." Mia's shoulders sagged. She knew in that moment she'd played a part in her best friend's devastation. But she also knew that if Emma didn't see the messages now, Jason might continue lying indefinitely. From the back row, Jason's mother, Renee, rose to her feet, voice quivering. "Jason, tell her, are you still in love with her?" Jason's breath came fast. He closed his eyes, as if trying to summon courage. "No. I love Emma. I thought it was just memories from college. But then I heard her voice again, and it was like nothing changed between us." Silence. A bead of sweat rolled down Emma's cheek. Every moment felt suspended. Then, Mia leaned in and whispered to Emma, "There's more. I found Instagram DMs where Michaela says she flew to New York today. She's waiting at a cafe down the street." That revelation sliced like a knife. The crowd started shifting, tense energy rippling outward. Emma swallowed hard. She forced herself to look at Jason. "When did you know she'd come?" Jason's eyes flickered to the floor. "Yesterday. She said if I didn't meet her tonight, she'd post everything." I panicked. "Jason, you didn't come to me," Emma said softly, but it was a dagger. "You hid it. You lied." The sun warmed her shoulders, but she felt an icy chill. She stepped back, breaking their hands apart. Jason stumbled, as if he'd been shoved. The guests leaned forward, craving every word. The moment felt infinite, like breathing underwater. Emma's gaze flicked toward the photographer mid-aisle, capturing everything in real time. In a sudden impulse, she raised her phone and opened Twitter. Quickly, she typed, #WeddingBetrayal, something's gone horribly wrong. Crying face bride with veil female sign broken heart. She hit tweet. Within seconds, hearts and retweets started trickling in. She saw the view count creep upward, 12K and counting. Strangers would now witness Jason's betrayal. In that instant, every carefully planned moment of this wedding, the lace train, the ivory cake, the expensive floral installation, felt meaningless. All of it had been a backdrop for devastation. Jason's voice hovered at the edge of her hearing. "Emma, please." Emma turned away, walking past the shocked faces of her guests. She felt dizziness. Mia caught her arm, guiding her into the small side courtyard. Emma sank onto a wooden bench, as if she might collapse. The sound of a camera shutter clicked again from across the ceremony space. Inside the loft where groomsmen once waited, Jason retreated to a dusty hallway. Derek rushed to him. "Bro, what did you do?" Derek's voice was urgent, eyes darting at the bridesmaids edging into the courtyard. Jason ran a hand through his hair. "I messed everything up." Derek's face hardened. "You've got to fix this. Right now." Jason shook his head, tears in his eyes. "I don't know how." She tweeted it. "This is streaming live to God knows how many people. My parents are crushed, man. I was going to give her a gift tonight, something big. I wanted to surprise her on our honeymoon." Derek's expression softened. "Okay. Step 1, stop the ceremony from happening. Make sure no one else walks down the aisle. We'll stall. Step 2, go apologize. Be honest. And if you have to, show her everything." Jason swallowed. He wiped his eyes, straightened his jacket, and marched back toward the ceremony. Flashbacks blurred into view as Emma sat cross-legged on her bed in the loft apartment, eyes red from tears. 2 weeks earlier, she'd discovered a deleted WhatsApp thread on Jason's phone, an accidental swipe, a misplaced finger. At first glance, it seemed innocent. Older couple catching up, as Jason had insisted. But Mia, ever the investigator, dug deeper. Mia unveiled Instagram DMs between Jason and Michaela Stone. Unlike the WhatsApp messages, these were explicit, late-night texts, affectionate nicknames, snapshots of secret plans. Michaela had moved back to Chicago last year after a painful breakup, but her teenage chemistry with Jason was still sizzling. It wasn't just nostalgia, it was desire. Mia had wrestled with ethics. Reveal everything now and risk shattering Emma, or wait until some proof was indisputable. She chose the latter, convinced that if she gathered concrete evidence, Emma would see Jason's betrayal in black and white, no room for excuses. 2 weeks before, Emma confronted Jason over dinner in their favorite Brooklyn bistro. The candles flickered, city traffic hummed outside. "Jason," Emma said, voice shaking, "why are you texting Michaela at 3 in the morning?" Jason's face was mild, mask of concern. "We were just talking. She's been going through a lot. She needed support." "Then why did you delete the messages from your phone?" Emma's voice hitched as she slid her palm across the table to retrieve her own phone and show him the deleted message icon, Michaela S. Message at 3:12 a.m. Jason's fork clattered onto his plate. He closed his eyes. "It wasn't that serious. I thought I was helping her as a friend. But you talked to her about wedding details. You exchanged the hashtag I picked out for us, hashtag MINJR2025. How is that, just friends?" "It feels more than that." Jason sighed, running his hand through his hair. "She reached out after months of nothing. I didn't want to hurt you or disappoint her. I wanted closure." Emma's heart sank. "Closure? By lying to me?" She pushed back from the table. "I don't know who you are anymore." Without waiting for an answer, she left the restaurant. Mia followed as Emma stepped into the cold night, shoulders shaking. The next day, Emma decided she'd keep planning, trusting Jason until the wedding day. But in the back of her mind, she had nagging doubts. Mia offered to come over daily, monitor Jason's messages, keep Emma safe from more surprises. But Emma begged Mia not to get involved. She rationalized, "It's just stress. We're planning a wedding." Meanwhile, Jason panicked. He tried to end things with Michaela, to tell her it was over. He texted, "I love Emma. You know that." But Michaela refused to let go. She confessed that she flew to New York to see him. "I need to see your face again. I can't lose you." Jason begged her, "Please, not now. Wait until after the wedding." But Michaela insisted, "Tonight, before they put that useless ring on your finger." Emma leaned forward on the bench, wiping the tears that wouldn't stop. Mia sat beside her, eyes red, phone in hand. Screenshots stored, messages time-stamped, evidence undeniable. Away from prying eyes, Mia whispered, "Here's the DM from 2 hours ago." She threatened to post everything. Emma's hand tightened around her bouquet as if it were a lifeline. She felt hollow. 2 minutes later, Jason re-emerged from the ceremony tent, hands open in desperation. He rushed into the courtyard. "Emma, please. I want to explain." Emma stood slowly, nodding at her bridesmaids to let them pass. She raised her voice so that the dozen people lingering nearby could hear, "Not here." Her tone was quiet but resolute. "Go find me in the side courtyard in 5 minutes. Alone." Jason's shoulders drooped. "I'll wait." He retreated into the tent, where family members hovered, relieved he wasn't completely abandoning the ceremony. Emma turned to Mia, voice trembling, "What do I do? If I go to him, I'll have to face everything. But if I don't," Mia reached for her hand. "You go. You hear him out. But keep your phone close. If he lies again, we expose him." Emma nodded numbly. She squared her shoulders and crossed the gravel path to the side courtyard. A pale summer sun cast patterns of light on the brick walls. Jason stood against a whitewashed fence, head down, as if bracing for impact. They held each other's gaze for a long moment. Emma's heart thumped. She was still wearing her bouquet's ribbon as a makeshift grip. Jason swallowed hard. "Emma, I never wanted to hurt you. I never planned it like this. Emma's voice cracked. Then why lie? Why use our hashtag, knowing I'd find out eventually? Jason took a step forward, guilt etched on his face. I was scared. She said if I didn't talk to her, she'd leak everything to you. I didn't think she'd actually come. Emma's eyes narrowed. She's at that cafe. I saw your text to her. Jason nodded. I didn't know how to end it. I thought if I could meet her one last time, I could fix it. His voice dropped to a whisper. I wanted closure. But I still love you. Emma's breath caught. Closure isn't worth a life. How do I know you won't keep lying? He closed his eyes. I'll prove it. Let me show you something. Jason unlocked his phone and opened the DMs with Michaela. Look. Emma stared at the screen as a new message appeared from Michaela, sent 5 minutes earlier. I'm here. Alone. Do you have the courage to meet me? Emma's stomach churned. She's so bold. She flew in just to humiliate me. Her voice was small. Jason's face flushed. I swear, I didn't think she'd actually come to New York. Emma swallowed hard, fighting the urge to turn and run. Instead, she raised her phone and scrolled to the very first DM of this morning's thread. Timestamp, 1:57 a.m. Michaela, I can't believe you let her have you. Emma closed her eyes, fighting tears. So, tonight. You were going to sneak away from me on our wedding night? Meet her in a hotel? Jason winced. I was a fool. I don't know what I was thinking. He reached for her hand, but Emma jerked it away. Don't touch me. Emma's voice sounded hollow, but she forced herself to steady her breathing. I need space. Jason nodded, stepping back. He looked lost, like a man who'd wrecked the only thing he actually wanted. Emma lifted her phone again. She typed a quick tweet update, still no answers. He wants to explain, but can I even listen? Hashtag WeddingBetrayal. She hit tweet again. This time it crept toward 15k views. Mia tapped her phone. You're promoting our worst moment ever. Emma gave a shaky laugh. Let them watch. She turned and walked away, Mia close behind. Emma's shoes crunched on the gravel as she headed toward a narrow pathway leading to a small cafe across the street. That cafe, Michaela's waiting place, beckoned ominously. As Emma passed the low brick wall separating the loft's courtyard from the public sidewalk, she saw a skinny blonde woman with a baseball cap, Michaela, sitting under a small bistro table umbrella, her phone in her hand. She looked up, spotted Emma, and raised a triumphant smile. Emma's heart slammed. She tried to look away, but it was too late. Michaela already had her attention. She waved, then mouthed, "Come." Emma froze as if someone had grabbed her heart in an iron grip. Jason appeared at her side, blocking her path. The world narrowed to 3 faces, Emma's, Jason's, and Michaela's. Jason's voice was low. Don't do this today. Please. Michaela waved again, eyes glittering. We have to talk, Emma. This isn't about you. Emma's blood boiled, her fists clenched. She could almost taste tears and rage. Was it bravery or madness that made her take a single step toward Michaela? Emma's pulse thundered in her ears as she stepped toward Michaela. The blonde woman's triumphant smile seemed to say, I won. Yet there was something in Michaela's eyes, an anxious edge, like she hadn't expected Emma to actually show up. Jason tugged at Emma's elbow, but she shook him off. Stay back, she hissed. Michaela stood, brushing a wisp of hair from her face. Her expensive-looking leather jacket and designer sunglasses clashed with the humble sidewalk cafe chairs. Emma, she said softly, almost warmly. I'm glad you came. Emma swallowed, recalling Mia's whisper, keep your phone close. If he lies, expose him. She held her phone at chest level, thumb hovering over record. Jason's face was a mask of pleading, but Emma refused to look at him. Instead, she squared her shoulders and leveled her gaze on Michaela. "Why are you here?" Emma demanded, voice low but steady. The cafe's patrons noticed the tension, a bride in a lace gown standing in the midday sun, confronting a stranger. Phones peeked out from pockets. The barista behind the pastry case paused mid-pour. Michaela took a shallow breath. "Because Jason wants me here." Her gaze flicked to Jason, who stood 2 steps behind Emma. Jason's cheeks blazed red. Mia hovered at Emma's shoulder, phone out, ready. Emma's eyes narrowed. "What do you mean?" "He begged me to meet him here just a minute ago." Michaela's lips curved in a faint, bitter smile. "Sorry, love. I deleted his last texts as they came in. But trust me, he told me, I'm at a crossroads. That I'll be happier with him than without him. That he'll leave you after tonight." Emma reined in a gasp. "Don't lie." She forced herself to keep her voice controlled. "If Jason was going to choose you, why didn't you show up earlier? Why send me screenshots at my wedding? I'd expect that kind of stunt from you, not a private conversation." Michaela's smile hardened. "Depends. If you walked away quietly, maybe I wouldn't post anything. But you've already gone public with #WeddingBetrayal, darling. I wanted you to feel it." "You manipulated him," Emma said. "You knew if you threatened to leak messages, he'd cave." Michaela shrugged, tossing her blonde hair. "Everyone has a weakness. Yours is trusting that a man who flirts with an ex would share his darkest secrets. Jason didn't want you to see the truth until it was too late." Jason opened his mouth, but Emma silenced him with a raised hand. The world felt impossibly loud. The distant rumble of a delivery truck, a baby's wail from a passing stroller, the whir of the cafe splendor. But only her thoughts echoed, "I believed you. I planned my whole life with you. How could this be happening right now?" Emma forced herself to stand straight. "I don't care about your games, Michaela. If you have anything to say to me, say it now." Michaela inhaled, as if savoring the moment. She crossed one leg over the other and leaned toward Emma. "I want you to know that Jason—" She paused, then her tone sharpened, "has always been mine. You are just another chapter. I got bored when you moved to Brooklyn. When I saw he proposed, I knew I had to act before it was too late." Emma felt bile rise in her throat. "You're crazy," she spat. She looked at Jason, hoping for denial, but he stared at the ground. Not a word from him. Michaela's gaze moved over Emma's wedding gown, smirk playing on her lips. "Pretty dress. Shame you'll never wear it down the aisle." Emma's shoulder spasmed, but she forced herself to remain upright. She took out her phone and tapped record. Video began, no live stream, just private recording for evidence. "Here," Emma said, approaching. "If you want to be honest, tell me why you didn't save anything. Why no photos?" Michaela's jaw clenched. "Because Jason told me to delete everything. But I've still got your little tweets." She tapped her phone and scrolled through a deleted tweets folder, one that only she could see. "You spilled your heart on Twitter. Your followers are already eating this up." Emma felt a sharp twist in her chest. She had hoped her tweets would pressure Jason to confess, not become fodder for Michaela's arrogance. "So this is about followers," Emma said, quietly furious. "You think you can steal my fiancé and my platform?" Michaela's eyes darkened. "I don't need your platform. I already have my own following, just not as big as yours. But I'm playing the long game. Once Jason's mine, I'll look good." "You're toxic now, Emma. You and your bridal dreams." The cafe sign chimed as a stranger walked through the door, casting a curious glance at the unfolding drama. Mia nudged Emma's arm. "He's moving again," she whispered, pointing to Jason fidgeting. Emma nodded imperceptibly. She raised her voice, projection natural after years of drama in high school theater. Jason. Her words echoed down the block. Several passers-by paused. Come here. Jason froze, then, steeling himself, he pushed past Emma's back and stopped a foot from Michaela. Sweat beaded on his brow. Emma held her phone steady, watching both Jason's and Michaela's reactions on screen. Jason swallowed. Michaela, I never wanted any of this to happen. Michaela's smirk widened. Except privacy. Everything else is fair game. She flipped his words back at him. Jason's voice cracked. I was weak, okay. I panicked. He turned to Emma. Look at me. Emma stared at his feet. Disbelief, anger, betrayal all jumbled in her chest. Jason, you said you loved me. I do, he said. But talk to me first next time. I tried to end things with her weeks ago, but she wouldn't stop. She threatened to expose us. Emma's mind raced. If you loved me, you would have told me then. Jason shook his head. I thought I could handle it. I thought I could protect you. Michaela interrupted, laughing softly. Really? You protect her by sneaking around? By using her hashtag to coordinate with me? She held up her phone, brandishing image after image, drunken selfies, hotel receipts, voice notes in which Jason called her, my anchor. Emma recoiled. How long? Jason's voice was a faint rasp. Since January. Emma's breath stuttered. January. Nearly 5 months. Jason dropped his gaze. I'm sorry. Emma felt tears slip down her cheeks. She squared her shoulders, refusing to let her voice tremble. Jason, everything about us was a lie. Because you chose her. Jason's hand flew to his face. No, save it. Emma pivoted, heading back across the sidewalk toward Mia. Once she passed, she didn't stop. Mia fell into step. Emma's phone lay face up in her hand, recording the aftermath, Jason's shaken posture, Michaela's triumphant glare. Jason called after her, voice raw. Emma, wait. I need to tell you the truth. Emma reached the loft side gate. Mia unlocked it, and Emma stepped inside without looking back. She heard Jason's footsteps on the sidewalk cease as if he realized he had nowhere to go. Inside the loft side courtyard, Mia embraced Emma. Emma's body shook, and she cried without restraint. For a moment, everything blurred, the pink blossoms on a nearby potted tree, the cobblestones, the camera shutter on her phone. Mia held her tight, whispering, It's okay. You're okay. Emma pulled away, wiping tears with the back of her hand. We need to think. What do we do next? Mia looked at Emma's phone. The video's all here. John up that tweet with a thread of screenshots. You need to own your narrative. Emma's chest tightened. I can't believe this is happening. Mia nodded. I know. Let's get you out of your wedding dress first. She gestured toward the loft door, where bridesmaids hovered, concern etched on their faces. Emma let Mia guide her inside. Her phone still recorded, no plans to stop. The bridesmaids ushered her toward a guest bathroom. Take this off now, whispered Jess, a longtime friend. I'll grab your phone and hide it until you're ready. Emma nodded numbly. She locked the bathroom door, letting the lace gown fall to the floor. Underneath, she was in a simple white slip. She stared at her reflection, eyes rimmed red, hair slightly mussed. Makeup smeared at the corners of her eyes. She splashed water on her face and took a steadying breath. Outside the bathroom door, whispers floated, Is she okay? What a mess. I can't believe he'd do that. Emma closed her eyes. Every word cut sharper than a knife, but for once, she didn't care who heard. Later that afternoon, back in the bridal suite, now transformed into a de facto crisis room, Emma, Mia, and Sharon sat huddled around a small folding table. Mia tapped on her laptop, drafting a tweet thread, January 6th. Everyone deserves to know the truth before a big moment in life. Today, I discovered that Jason was texting his ex, Michaela, under our wedding hashtag. Hashtag WeddingBetrayal. February 6th. I saw DMs that reveal over 5 months of late-night, secret conversations. Photos, voice notes, hotel receipts. Everything I never asked for, but needed to see. March 6th. While I stood at the altar, he was planning to meet her tonight. He chose her. 4 of 6. I'll share all screenshots, timestamps, and video evidence by tonight, so you can all see exactly what he hid from me. 5 of 6. I'm sorry if this upsets you, but you deserve to know who he really is. Hashtag WeddingBetrayal. 6/6. Right now, I'm deciding what's next. Would you walk away or give one last chance? Emma watched the draft with distant detachment. That last line. Should I really ask that? Her voice cracked. Sharon, pale and drawn in a husband-behind-the-scenes way, reached out and squeezed Emma's hand. Ask it, sweetheart. People will relate to that question, especially those who've been betrayed. Mia nodded. Your audience wants raw honesty. Give it to them. Show them how real this is. Emma hesitated, swallowing. She glanced at her wedding ring, one that had never been placed on her finger. She lifted her hand, hesitated, then tucked the ring into her bouquet's ribbon. She pressed post on the final tweet, sealing it with, "What would you do?" Almost instantly, notifications exploded, retweets, replies, hearts. Some messages offered sympathy, "You deserve better." Others gossiped, "He's pathetic." And a few said things like, "You're too beautiful to waste on him." Emma felt a wave of shame and vindication wash over her. She stood, nodding to Mia. Let's schedule the posts for tonight. And get me a change of clothes. I'm going home. I can't stay here living this lie. Mia reached for Emma's phone, scanning incoming DMs. Some are from news outlets asking for interviews. If we want to control the narrative, we need to be strategic. Sharon looked at her, tears in her eyes. Do you want to accept an interview? Emma shook her head. No. I just want to feel something normal. She rose, brushing back tears. I'm going to my apartment to pack. I can't face family right now. Sharon stood too. I'll come with you. We can pack together. Mia nodded. I'll stay here and handle the social media fallout. As Emma gathered her belongings, a few dresses, her grandmother's necklace, a framed photo of her and Jason from their engagement, her mind spun through memories, their first date at a quiet tapas bar, the weekend they spent in the Catskills, the moment he got down on one knee at sunset. How could all of that be a lie? Jason appeared in the doorway, hesitation written in every line of his body. Emma froze. Jason's eyes glistened. Emma, please. Emma didn't look at him. She grabbed her tote and moved past him, heading down the hallway. He followed. Emma, I need to explain. Emma turned and fixed him with an icy stare. Don't follow me. He stood still, pain etched on his face. For a moment, the world between them was silent, unstoppable yet suspended. Then she continued walking, leaving him alone in the hallway. That evening, back in Emma's one-bedroom apartment in Williamsburg, the thrifted leather couch was littered with suitcases. Clothes were strewn everywhere. Emma paused mid-folding a sweater. She scrolled through her phone, Twitter, Instagram, text messages. Over 25,000 notifications. Each ping felt like a small explosion in her chest. Mia had set up a simple Google Drive folder, Emma and Jason evidence, labeled by date and time. Screenshots, voice notes, hotel receipts. Emma stared at a video file named Jan_27_hotel_voice_note.mp4. Forcing herself to click, she watched her soon-to-be ex-fiancé's voice, strained and tender in the dim room. "Michaela, you're the only one who really sees me." Emma's vision blurred, she closed her laptop. A soft knock at the door, then Sharon slipped inside, carrying 2 empty coffee mugs. She set them on the coffee table, wrapped an arm around Emma's shoulders. "I brought your favorite blend." Emma nodded, grateful. She sipped, letting the warmth settle her frayed nerves. Outside, sirens wailed, somewhere a story was unfolding, and she was the headline. Sharon hesitated. "Sweetie, about your father, your aunt and uncle think you should talk to him." Emma's chest tightened. "I can't. He's at the loft, waiting." Sharon's voice cracked. "He wants to apologize." Emma clenched her jaw, looking at her coffee mug as if it were a lifeline. Outside, a feeling of unease settled in her stomach. Part of her wanted to hear him out, to salvage years of love. But every fiber of her being screamed, he chose her. Mia's text buzzed, 3:21 p.m., new DM, tabloid offered $10,000 for exclusive. What do? Emma stared at the message. She exhaled. "Tell them no. I don't want him on a tabloid spread." Mia replied, "Understood. Should I post everything on YouTube? Full video?" Emma typed, "Not yet. Wait till tomorrow. I need 1 day offline. Sorry, me." She locked her phone and set it face down on the coffee table. She gazed at Sharon's concerned face. "I think I'm done with the outside world for now." Sharon nodded, pulling Emma closer. "You deserve that." Emma sank into the couch. "Do you think I'll ever trust again?" Sharon kissed the top of her head. "You will. In time." Emma closed her eyes, surrounded by half-packed suitcases and the distant thrum of New York traffic. She wondered if love itself felt tainted. Until her phone vibrated again, pinging with another notification. She reached for it, hesitation in her fingers. She tapped Messages and saw one from an unknown number. "Meet me tonight at the place where you proposed. I have something important to show you." Emma's breath caught, as if she'd landed face first onto a spike. She stared at the message, no signature, no profile picture. Just those words, accompanied by a photo of the bridge where Jason had proposed 4 months ago. Sharon leaned in. "Emma, who is?" Emma shook her head, voice hollow. "I don't know. But it's signed, Frank." Sharon frowned. "Frank?" Emma's eyes narrowed. Her father's name was Thomas, her younger brother was Mark. Neither was Frank. Jason's older brother Marcus? No, he went by Mark. No obvious Frank. Emma felt a flicker of panic. "I don't know who this is. But whoever it is, they picked that bridge on purpose." She closed her eyes, pressing her fingers to her temples. What if it's more evidence against Jason? Or something worse? Sharon took Emma's hand. "Whatever it is, you don't have to face it alone." Emma nodded, though her mind raced with possibilities. Frank? She tried to think back to anyone named Frank connected to Jason or Michaela. The only one who came to mind was a college friend, Frank Delaney, who'd allegedly been around Michaela the summer before. Rumor had been that Jason and Frank had a falling out over her. Could Frank really be alive, sending her cryptic messages? Emma closed her phone and placed it on the coffee table, fighting tears. "I need to rest. I'm exhausted." Sharon helped Emma to the bedroom, where she sank into her pillow. The sun had dipped below the skyline, and city lights flickered through the curtains. Emma stared at the ceiling, mind spinning. 2 hours later, around 10 p.m., the hallway light buzzed on. Emma, now in dark sweats and a hoodie, sat at her desk scanning replies to her tweet thread. Some replies praised her honesty. Others warned her she might never recover. She closed the laptop. A soft knock at her door startled her. "Emma?" It was Mia's voice, quiet. Emma swung her chair around as Mia slipped inside, clutching Emma's phone like it were a prize. "I held off on posting more. I thought maybe you wanted a break." Emma nodded. "Thanks. I need some space." She rubbed her eyes, fatigue weighing heavily. Mia sat beside her. "So, this Frank, do you have any idea who it is?" Emma shook her head. Only one possibility came to mind, Frank Delaney from Jason's college days. They had some falling out over Michaela. But I don't know if it's him or a prank. Mia's lips pressed together. "Should we call Jason? Ask him if he knows a Frank?" Emma glanced at the locked bedroom door. "I can't face him again tonight." Mia sighed. "Then let's just monitor." "I'll snoop around," Emma interrupted, voice soft. "No. I'm done monitoring. If it's important, I'll find out tomorrow." Mia nodded, though her worry was palpable. She placed Emma's phone lightly on the desk. "What do you want to do instead?" Emma looked at the photo of the bridge on her phone screen, still displayed on the lock screen. "Where I said yes to a lifetime." She swallowed hard. "I want to sleep. My head feels like it's going to implode." Mia stood and kissed Emma's forehead. "Text me if anything happens." Emma nodded. Mia turned off the hallway light and Emma lay back on her bed, pulling the comforter over her. The night air was still, the hum of traffic below like a distant heartbeat. Emma's last thought before drifting off was, "Tomorrow, I'll confront this Frank. I have to know." Emma's eyes fluttered open to a pale sliver of morning light filtering through her curtains. Her phone lay on the bedside table, its screen dark and silent, no new notifications. For a moment, she allowed herself to believe the nightmare might have been just a dream. Then she remembered the text from Frank waiting on the lock screen, "Meet me tonight at the place where you proposed. I have something important to show you." She sat up, heart pounding. Outside the window, the skyline of Brooklyn glowed pink with dawn. Emma rubbed her eyes and swung her legs over the edge of the bed, pausing when she noticed a fresh text from Mia. "Good morning. Did you sleep at all?" "I'm up. Heading to get coffee, join." Emma tapped back a thumbs-up emoji. She pulled on a hoodie and joggers, then padded barefoot to the kitchen, where Sharon was already brewing coffee and cleaning Emma's dishes from last night. "Morning, sweetheart," Sharon greeted softly, setting a steaming mug on the counter. "You want breakfast?" Emma shook her head. "No, thanks. I'm going to meet Mia." Sharon frowned. "You're really going to that bridge today?" Emma took the coaster-wrapped mug and cradled it. "I need answers. I don't know who this Frank is, but I can't ignore him." Sharon's expression softened with concern. "Be careful, Em." Emma nodded, sipping the hot coffee. "I will." Meeting at the bridge. Brooklyn's Smith Street Bridge arched over the Gowanus Canal, its iron trusses painted a rust red that glowed in the morning light. Emma arrived just before 8 a.m., folding the hood of her sweatshirt around her face. Mia was leaning against a lamppost, arms folded, phone in hand. "Mia." Emma offered a small wave. Mia walked over briskly. "I texted Derek, Jason's friend, last night. He said Frank Delaney was a college roommate of Jason's. Not much more." Emma's heart pounded. "So Frank's real." Mia glanced down the walkway. "He should be here any second." The air smelled faintly of diesel exhaust and damp metal. Emma shivered despite the hoodie. She checked her phone, 8:02 a.m. No new texts from Frank. She bit her lip. At 8:05 a.m., a slender, athletic young man in jeans and a black leather jacket rounded the corner. He paused as he spotted them, clean-shaven, chestnut hair slightly tousled, early 20s. He offered a tentative nod. "Frank?" Emma called, voice wavering. Frank raised a hand. "Emma?" His eyes flicked from Emma to Mia, then back to Emma. "You're Emma Collins." Emma drew in a breath. "Yes." Frank cleared his throat. "Thank you for coming." He held out a folded envelope stamped with a return address in Chicago. "I wasn't sure you'd show." Emma glanced at Mia, who gave her a discreet nod of encouragement. Emma stepped forward and took the envelope. She slipped her phone into her hoodie pocket, out of Frank's view, and unfolded the top of the envelope. Inside was a stack of glossy photo prints. Frank watched her face as she flipped through them. Each photo was dated and time-stamped, January 15, 2025, around 11 p.m. The first image showed Jason and Frank walking into a dimly lit lounge in Chicago, Jason's arm around Frank's shoulder. The next, Jason leaning in close to someone whose face was obscured by a fedora. Michaela's voice note revealed her signature laugh in the background. The final photo, a screenshot of a group chat labeled Jason's PR team, with 3 avatars, one named Agent_Clark, another M, and the third J. Beneath the Agent_Clark icon was a message, status. Wedding cancel PR, viral potential. 90% chance #WeddingBetrayal will trend. Talent compensation, $20,000. Emma's fingers trembled as she thumbed through the photos. Poultry electrified her chest, each print confirming a reality more twisted than she'd imagined. "What is this?" Her voice was barely above a whisper. Frank swallowed. Jason's been planning this entire thing for months. Not just Michaela. He collaborated with a PR firm to stage a wedding betrayal so you'd post it online, boost both of your followings, and then come back together for a second chance special. You'd rebuild your image as the forgiving fiancé. They'd profit off the ad revenue. Mia took a step forward, voice taut. "What do you mean, he collaborated? You're saying he knew the betrayal was going to happen?" Frank nodded, running a hand through his hair. "I was in that group chat. I thought it was a joke at first. Jason bragging about how Emma's tweet will hit 1 million impressions. But it wasn't a joke. They actually hired Michaela." Emma's head snapped up. Her eyes locked onto Frank's. "Hired?" Frank swallowed again. "Yes. Michaela only showed up because they paid her. They scripted it. She got money for supposed exclusive content. Then Clark, the PR agent, sent her a check. She ghosted you and Jason once she had enough." Emma stared at the photo of the group chat again. M, likely Michaela. Clark, and J, which must be Jason's alias. Her breath caught. "How do I know this is real? How do I know you're not lying?" Frank's jaw tightened. "Because I walked into that lounge and saw Jason paying me to get you there, no questions asked. He told me, 'Frank, help me set the stage. I want this to be big. Emma's got 10K followers on Twitter, let's amplify it.' I refused at first, but I needed the money. Then I realized how sick it was. I backed out when I saw Michaela arrive. I mean, I blocked him on everything after I left, but last night I saw your tweet go viral, and I knew you deserved to know. That's why I texted." Emma's legs went weak. For a moment, she tightened her grip around the stack of photos so hard her knuckles bruised. "Why should I believe you?" Frank's eyes glistened. "I made copies. The originals are on my external drive hidden in my apartment. If you need verification, you can check with the journalist who wrote about Jason's PR campaigns last month. Clark's firm was under investigation. I have all the receipts." Mia reached out to take one of the prints, scanning the metadata stamped at the bottom, Chicago Lounge Bar, January 15, 2025, 23:05 Central Standard Time. She lifted her gaze. This lines up with Michaela's Instagram story from that night. Mia's voice was cold. We traced her location. She was paid to play along. Emma exhaled shakily. Her mind reeled. Jason not only betrayed her, but had also orchestrated the entire scandal. Tears blurred her vision. Her phone vibrated in her pocket. Derek had sent a link to an article exposing Jason's PR agent. The headline read, "Influencer Fiancé's PR Stunt Exposed, How Jason Rivera Engineered #WeddingBetrayal for Viral Fame." Emma slipped her phone out and opened the article. She read a paragraph aloud. Documents leaked from Agent Clark's firm reveal that Jason Rivera, a New York-based musician, contracted a staged infidelity scenario to increase social media engagement for both his upcoming album and his fiancée's lifestyle brand. The #WeddingBetrayal was part of a six-figure marketing strategy. Emma's throat constricted. She folded the photo prints and shoved them back into the envelope, pressing them to her chest as if they were coals burning through her sweater. Mia, Emma choked, stepping back. I thought I knew him. Mia placed a hand on her back. I'm so sorry, Emma. You deserve better. Frank cleared his throat. If you want, I can connect you with the journalist. Or Derek can set up a meeting at Clark's office. We can get everything on the record. Emma shook her head, voice hollow. No. I need to process this. She turned away, wrapping her arms around herself. Frank and Mia stayed silent, giving her space. The bridge felt suddenly hollow, the rust-red beams towering overhead like a reminder of how high she'd fallen. Emma's phone buzzed again. This time, it was a DM from Jason, sent at 7:45 a.m. Emma, can we talk? I know you're upset, but I never wanted to hurt you. I love you. Emma typed a response without thinking, her finger hovered over send, but she paused. She deleted the text and set the phone back in her pocket. She took a deep breath, head spinning. I can't believe. Emma began, voice breaking. Mia wrapped an arm around her. You'll get through this. Emma nodded, leaning on Mia. For a moment, she let silence settle around them, broken only by the honking of a distant car and the soft lapping of water against the canal's edge. Finally, Emma inhaled. I have to go home. Mia squeezed her hand. Let's go. They walked off the bridge together, Frank standing alone behind them. Emma didn't look back, but she felt his eyes linger on her retreating figure before he turned and disappeared into the shadows of the walkway. Unraveling the final lies back in her apartment, Emma collapsed onto the couch. Sharon had stayed behind, giving her a sympathetic hug. Do you want anything to eat? Emma shook her head. No. Just, give me a minute. She closed her eyes. The photos, the article, Frank's confession, they all felt like knives twisting deeper. Sharon sat beside her, silent. Mia hovered near the door, laptop in hand, ready for instructions. Emma opened her phone and navigated to Jason's profile on Instagram. His account still displayed wedding day photos, filmed moments of the ceremony that never happened. One post in particular caught her eye, Jason smiling at the camera, his caption reading, "Can't wait to spend forever with my perfect girl." #EmmaNJR2025, it had nearly 50k likes. A comment from @agent_Clark read, almost time for the big reveal. Emma's chest tightened. She exited his profile and went to her own account to draft a final post. They were waiting for a climactic reveal, videos of her tears, his apologies, a reunion to come. But Emma realized she had control now, not him, not Michaela, not the PR agent. She'd been the pawn in someone else's game. It was time to reclaim her narrative. She tapped Create Post and selected a black square, nothing but darkness. She began typing. I've spent the last 48 hours unraveling the truth about everything you saw online. #WeddingBetrayal was not a moment of raw heartbreak, it was orchestrated. Jason Rivera planned this entire scandal to boost his music and my platform. He hired influencers, staged messages, and paid his ex to show up on our wedding day. She paused, blinking away tears before continuing. My trust was betrayed, not just by him, but by the network of people who wanted to profit from my pain. I may look broken, but I am not a victim. This ends now. I will rebuild on my own terms. She added the open-ended question at the bottom. What would you do if someone you loved used your life as a marketing stunt? She stared at the text. It felt raw, like ripping off a scab that still bled. With one final breath, she hit post. Within seconds, notifications flooded in. The black square post was shared by thousands, with comments pouring in. Some expressed shock at the PR angle. I had no idea. That's criminal. Others offered support. You are so brave. Don't let them win. Emma let the phone buzz on her lap, closing her eyes. She felt a strange relief, an ember of empowerment after 2 nights of agony. Final confrontation that afternoon, as sunlight slanted through the windows, Emma set her phone aside and reached for her jacket. Sharon and Mia exchanged glances. Where are you going? Sharon asked. Emma's expression was determined. To see Jason, one last time. Face to face. I need him to know I'm done. Sharon rose to hug her. Promise me you'll be careful. Emma kissed her cheek. I will. I'm bringing Mia. Mia grabbed her bag. I'll drive. They arrived at the cafe where Jason had begged forgiveness earlier. The same bistro chairs and small umbrellas lined the sidewalk. Jason was already seated at a back table, wearing a black hoodie that nearly obscured his face. He looked up as they approached, eyes hollow, guilt written in every line. Emma stopped a few feet away. She deliberately did not sit. Instead, she crossed her arms. Jason's gaze dropped to the ground. The cafe's patrons gave them space, some recognized Emma from her posts, phones discreetly out, recording. Jason's voice was barely audible. Emma. Emma's lip curled. Do you have anything to say? Jason swallowed, his Adam's apple bobbing. I'm sorry. Her eyes flashed. Sorry. You think that's enough? You staged my heartbreak for PR points. You lied to me, humiliated me in front of thousands, used me. Jason shook his head, eyes glossy. I never wanted to hurt you, I just thought, if we did this and then got back together, we'd come out stronger. Emma suppressed a bitter laugh. Stronger? You turned my wedding day into a marketing campaign. She held out her phone. Look. She opened her Instagram post. The black square, the caption accusing him of scheming. Jason looked at the screen, face paling. Do you see all of this? Do you see how many people support me? How many are calling for you to be held accountable? Her voice quivered with emotion. Jason's shoulders trembled. I'm sorry. I love you. I never stopped loving you. Emma's chest tightened. Love? No. You loved what you could get from me, clout, clicks, sympathy. If you loved me, you wouldn't have treated me like a product. A barista passed with a tray of lattes, giving them a sympathetic glance. A few tables over, patrons whispered. Emma ignored them, focusing on Jason's face. You and your ex were paid to call this a scandal. Emma pressed. Explain this. She slid the photo print of the group chat across the table. The tabloid screenshot. The metadata proves Jason's involvement. Jason looked at the photos, then back at Emma. He closed his eyes, as if the weight of every lie was crushing him. I did it for us, for our brand, he whispered. I thought if we branched out, music, lifestyle, entertainment, we'd both be richer, famous. Emma shook her head, tears spilling. I wanted a life with you, not a business partner who uses me. Jason winced, like each word was a blow. I never meant for you to get hurt like this. Her voice dropped to a whisper but echoed across the quiet cafe. You did this to yourself. Mia stepped forward. That's enough. She touched Emma's arm. He said his piece. Emma took one last look at Jason, eyes rimmed red, shamed, pleading. She realized the man she loved no longer existed, the image of him was shattered. She slid into a chair at the far end of the outdoor patio. She didn't meet his gaze again. Instead, she stood and approached a waitress. Can I get some water, please? Jason remained seated, shoulders slumped, staring at the table. Emma picked up her drink when it arrived. She turned away from Jason and took a long sip. Then she walked past him toward the street. Mia fell in step beside her. Jason called out, voice cracking. Emma, wait, please. She kept walking, spine straight, heels clicking on the pavement. Mia followed close behind, phone already recording the scene. Emma didn't need any more evidence. As they reached the corner, Emma stopped and turned, facing Jason squarely. This is the last time you'll hear from me, she said, her voice steady. Goodbye. Jason's shoulders heaved with silent sobs as the cafe receded behind her. Emma and Mia continued down the block, the bustle of the city crowding around them. Epilogue and final hook that evening, Emma sat at her desk, the glow of her laptop screen illuminating her tired face. She scrolled through a flood of supportive messages. One message from a follower read, "You turned your darkest moment into a masterpiece. Thank you for speaking the truth." Another, from a local journalist, "Can we sit down for a feature? Your story needs to be heard." Emma closed her eyes, exhaling. She opened a blank document and began typing. Today, I realized something important. My worth isn't measured by likes, follows, or a staged scandal. It's measured by my integrity. And no one, not even someone I loved, can take that away. She paused, letting the words settle. Fingers hovering over the keyboard, she typed the final line. What would you do if someone you loved turned your life into a marketing stunt? Would you fight for the truth or walk away for good? Emma leaned back, reading her own words. Outside, the city lights glittered like fragmented diamonds against the night sky, each one a promise of a new beginning. She didn't have all the answers, but she knew this: she would rebuild, on her own terms, without apologies.